Hey, hey, test 1 2 3 1 2. I was just about to go live and noticed that uh, I had no audio happening in my OBS. So we're back. Let me know how it sounds. Let me get our drums going here. Yeah, here they come. Here come the drums. Okay. Here we are. Who's with me? Say howdy. I hate it when, well, no, I think I know. No, that's wrong. Anyway, sorry. I am in a goofy mood tonight, everybody. Just kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of loopy, so anything can happen. Hey, there's my 5. Hi, Marcy. Welcome, sweetheart. Good, I'm glad you can hear all right. I'm so glad. And we're good with the drums and everything. I want to be loud enough that you can jam, but you know. Sorry, water. Hi, Laura, welcome. I loved last week's reading so much with the 6 decks and the dice and the randomization and everything that I'm doing it again tonight, and probably will be doing it again until I lose the energy. Because see, here's the way things go with me. I have an idea and I start very simply, and then as I go along I get really inspired and my creativity takes off, and then it usually outruns me by far and I have to pare it back again. But good. I'm glad everything's balanced. But so this is, hopefully this is as complex as I'm going to get now. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome, dear. When I told my husband I was doing, you know, the thing with the dice, and what he saw was the Yahtzee box on the bed. And he's like, "You're reading Yahtzee tonight?" And I said, no, I needed a die to pick one of the decks. You know, I've got 6 decks and the die is deciding which one we're using. And he's like, oh, well, what about that other die over there, which is on his altar, actually. And it was one that one of our sons-in-law gave him. Just he had it in his pocket and said, here, it's a gaming die, and it's a 20-sider. And for a hot second, he's like, you know, you could use that one. And I went, and then it was like, don't tempt me, Frodo, because I was ready to go and start pulling out the decks. So no, we're not going to do that. We will stick with 6 for now, and that'll just have to be good enough. But let me pull myself out a little bit so you can see what's going on. How are you guys doing, first of all, in this run-up, in this moon dark that we are in today? The new moon is at 5:41, I believe it was. My memory, I'm telling you. PM tomorrow in the Eastern time zone. So, of course, you know, check your time, your zone, and it's going to be something. It's going to be a rocker. We've got Uranus directly opposing the new moon in Scorpio. Ouch. So plan now how you're going to knock yourself out tonight if you want to get any sleep, all right? So, okay, let's talk about the decks that we have. I think that'll take up enough of our time here. The crystals, by the way, that I have on the decks are from a place called V-Rock. We are so lucky in Canton, Ohio, which is just about a half an hour from where we are. There's this store called V-Rock, and it's a lapidary shop. And used to be you had to have a vendor's license to get into Wonderland, which was the back room. But now anybody can go in the back room. You can go and buy from their wholesale stock. It's just you only get wholesale prices if you are registered with them as a vendor. So, okay, I will turn them down, my love. They are pretty loud. Oh, you know what? It's because at the end of the prayer circle on Sunday, I cranked them. What do you think? Is that better? Is that better? That better? Okay, I hope. Let me know. I'm going to keep talking. Anyway, just fabulous. And I mean, the last time we went, you could definitely see the supply line problems. as they didn't have a lot of their regular stock, but they get stuff from all over the world, and it's incredible. And like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something might have been longer than that, who knows, I bought this little bag of quartz points, and for $40 there was, like, I think it was 29 points in this bag. Incredible. And these are all from that, and I just keep them like arrayed at the base of my altar around Anubis, and all of these crystals got charged in pure water in a silver bowl in the last full moon. So we got them laid out here. So one by one, let me tell you what decks we're working with. The ones we're working with tonight all have the name Moon or something to do with the moon in the title, in honor of our new moon. So this one is called the Lunar Nomad, and I have listed them below. Am I on it or what? This is the Lunar Nomad Oracle by Shaheen Miro, and this is going to be interesting because it is a Lenormand style deck, an expanded Lenormand, which is read differently than Tarot. So that's going to be interesting. That is our #1 deck. And not only did I, I just picked all these decks, but I also asked the decks what number they wanted to be in the lineup. The second one is Tarot of a Moon Garden, and this one is by Laura Clarson. This is a US Games deck. The Lunar Nomad is a, hold on, Schiffer, I think. God, I can't, it's too small. Too small, hold on. It is Wiser Books. That's why I couldn't read it. I didn't recognize it. This one is the oldest of the decks that I have here. I've had this the longest. This is the Daughters of the Moon, the second round deck in existence. That's our #3. This is Moonology, our #4 deck. And this one is by Yasmin Boland. Yeah, I told you I'm organized, but I'm not that organized. Okay. And this is the Deviant Moon Tarot by Patrick Valenza, an amazing deck that I have not used hardly at all. So that's why I like doing this. It makes me use these decks and make friends with them. And then the last one here is Queen of the Moon, Oracle by Stacey Demarco. So I have the books next to me in case we need to look something up. One never knows. And let's start with a bell tonight, shall we? And I brought this bell because I want to go for a high frequency tonight. Okay, so you can't hear them at all now. Oh my God! All right. Okay, split the difference with the drums. Can you hear them now, but not too loud? While I'm talking, blah blah blah. Can you hear them now, but not too much? Oh God, so hard. All right. Well, let's do our bell while you're listening to tell me if the drums and things are too loud or too soft, and let's ground. Do it however you want to do it. I'm not going to guide you through. Get down in your body, reach out with your mind, and let's lift it up to a high frequency, okay? Yeah, let's do this. You know what? First of all, I told you I'm in a goofy mood. First of all, I'm going to do a little bit of a smoke cleanse. And then, okay. Hold on. I want to cleanse my decks a little bit, just a hint of a smoke cleanse. And then some perfectly balanced, I'm so glad. A little bit of salt water, also for the decks. All right. Let's invite in our guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for your presence here each and every day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the messages that we receive from all around us. Every single day. Thank you, thank you. And we ask for your patience and your kindness in guiding us along when you are yelling at the top of your lungs and we are not even listening. Thank you so much for being so gentle with us. And for my personal guides, you know, I always give you permission to smack me upside the head because frequently that's what it takes. You know, I am a Leo with Scorpio rising. I'm a very fixed person. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We welcome you here with fresh water, and we welcome you here with the fire of Azrael. And I'm going to, I swear to God, I'm getting to the bell. We're going to run our decks through very quickly. Ooh, my shoulder just sounded like Rice Krispies. Okay. Daughters of the Moon. Moonology. May you be imbued with the spirit of divination and bring us messages that are clear, insightful, spiritual, helpful, and entertaining. Thank you. All right, now the bell. Let's lift this. Wait a second. Let's do these. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hold on. There we go. And this one too. This die. All right. I wanted to touch each of the decks with the die. Okay. So now let's get down in our bodies. Let's do a ground. And let the bell call you into yourself. Call all the parts of yourself together, integrated to attention. Just let that sound wash over you and clear the space that you're in of any negativity. And again, bring all the elements that reside inside you into attention right now. Thank you so much. And thank you for the like. Please hit the like button while you're hanging out and waiting for us to get started. I'll have to have my tray. When I've got my moonstones on, see, I got my moonstones on too. When I have those on, I have to have my tray pulled out because then I can't fit my hand under the desk. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. I don't think I need to make the light come up at all. I just want you to be able to see the cards clearly. Let me put these in wondrous array, pointing our way. Okay. Now let's get started with our Astro Dice. One deck that didn't make the cut tonight is the Black Moon Astrology cards. And because they're, you know, astrology cards, and I was going to use them instead of the dice and I decided not to. Okay, so please, Spirit, bring us a message of what energy we need to bring to the forefront this week and channel through our lives. In what manner we need to bring that energy forth, what element and mode we need to focus on, and the area of life by house. Thank you so much. All right, we have the North Node in Aries in the 12th house. We had 12th house last week as well, so we're still dealing on the spiritual realm. Why? Because we're going into the dark half of the year. We're in the dark half of the year. We're going into the darkest part of the year. So, I mean, can you believe it? Samhain is not quite over yet. Some people, I'm not done yet. I am not done with Samhain yet. Some people are just now getting started with their celebration. Some people are going to be doing it on the full moon in Scorpio. That's lunar Samhain. So, but now, Scorpio season, right now we are in moon dark. Hold on. Let me show you something. This is my, here, This is my phone screen, my lock screen. And you see this tiny little sliver? That's all there is showing of the moon right now. And it's going to be going very black in the next couple hours. So this is the preview of going into the darkest part of the sun at Yule. You know, we're in Scorpio season of black moon. It doesn't get any darker or more intense than that. And ooh, if you're Plutonian, do we love it? Yes, we do. Okay, so the North Node, what do we need to focus on this new moon? Is the karmic path forward. What that means is new karmic territory. That means that it's time to really finish up with the old business, the old karmic business, and move on. That means completing patterns so that when they show up in our life again, because they will, no matter how much we've got it down, they're going to show up again. We don't even have to think twice. We just go, oh, it's that thing again, you know? And this is similar to when a person who's addicted goes to rehab and it doesn't stick, and they go again and they go again and they go again, and then finally it does stick, because we deal with these things in layers. And we deal with the patterns in a spiral. You know, the trauma gets laid down in layers as we go through life, and we have to heal it in layers as well. So when the pattern shows itself to us the first time, we can get a big wound, and I mean, we can like go charging back into the fray and just get well and properly beaten up by a particular karmic pattern the first time around. And then we swear we're never, ever, ever going to do that again. And by God, it's not too long before we find ourselves going, how did I do this again? Usually we think we're going in the dead opposite direction of the, you know, where we were in the past. But if we still have unhealed wounds, we're going to get magnetically drawn into that situation again. And so we confront it again, and it's like, oh yeah, I have been here. What did, you know, and you get stronger at it each time until finally it shows up and you go, you can't get your hooks in me again. I'm not even going to react to you. It has no more power over you because the wound is healed. So that's what the North Node talks about, that it's time to really look at what is completely healed and consciously acknowledge that, so we can move forward into new karmic territory. We can plant new seeds. And let's face it, we're planting new karmic seeds every single day, because karma is nothing more or less than the law of cause and effect. You do an action, there's an effect. There's a cause, there's an effect, right? It's a law of the universe. So, but the big things, you know, the big karmic stuff, the business we have with other people, those are the big ones that are going to come cycling back to us. So looking at finishing up old business so we can move ahead karmically, new territory. Look at it's in Aries, starting new, starting anew. Forging new territory, that's what Aries is, an explorer, and it's a cardinal fire sign, which means in the now and in passion, with vision. Fire is about vision. So fire signs are the really creative ones. To have creative people, you got to have fire in your chart. It's passion, it's drive. And this is about creating a new path for us by choice, not just by getting, you know, pulled through by our karmic stringers and the magnetism of that. And then 12th house, of course, is on the subconscious, unconscious level. So we need to really be aware of what unconscious patterns took us to these lessons to begin with, so that we can make them conscious. That's what I was talking about in the beginning, making it all conscious. All right, Aries, you know, Aries and 12th house are kind of opposite each other. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. First house, me, physically me, you know. 12th house is Pisces, the end of everything. You know, the place of hiding, the place of spirit, where all the boundaries kind of dissolve and you become egoless. You finally lose that ego that Aries is so strong in. So we've got these two things, but we need to be strong and courageous in moving forward into new karmic territory in order to redeem those unconscious patterns, right? Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's put those up there and get swanging, shall we? 20 minutes in here. I've been babbling away. All right. Scorpio Plutonians. All right, so these readings for the signs, I want to say, you know, I usually say your sun, moon, rising, your big three. But, for instance, we're starting with Scorpio. So Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, Scorpio rising, or a focalized Pluto or Mars in your chart. Pluto and Mars are co-rulers of Scorpio. It's the only sign that has two active rulers and not a former and a new ruler, you know. So two active rulers. And if you have either one of those planets focalized, and if you want to know if you have one of those focalized, you need to talk to an astrologer. A number of things that can bring a planet into high focus and make you like a Plutonian person. So Scorpios, what deck for Scorpio tonight? Let me get centered again here. Number 6, which is Queen of the Moon. All right. Hold on. Okay. Couldn't tell if the drums were still going or not. All right, Scorpio. What does Scorpio need to know? I'm going to take 3. Okay. Trust, wisdom, gratitude. So we have egg moon, waning gibbous, and last quarter. I don't know that that really matters a lot. Let's just go with the messages here. Can you see? You can see the images all right, right? I can't. They're very glary. But anyway, trust, wisdom, gratitude. Wow, Scorpio. Time to let go of control. Or the illusion of control. Let's call it what it is. The illusion of control. That's what trust is all about, is handing over control to a situation, you know, of a situation or to someone because I trust you, because that means I don't have to control. When you trust someone or you trust a situation, it is a statement of, I don't have to control this aspect of my life. I don't have to control this person, this relationship. I know that good things are going to happen and I don't have to meddle, you know? So trust is a freeing thing. Trust really lets you relax, Scorpio. You're not the best at that. Wrapped pretty tight. You know, well, when you got Pluto and Mars riding you like a bad pony, it's tough to relax, eh? So, trust. All right, wisdom and gratitude. So the wisdom in the middle here, what is the wisdom? Trust and gratitude. Trust says what I just said. Gratitude says, I'm thankful for everything, that's how everything is unfolding. And when you put yourself in a place of trust and you go into that relaxed state, it is an awful lot easier to be grateful, to be in a state of gratitude. And gratitude is a state of receiving. You know, when you're grateful, it's because, you know, things are good. I'm receiving such good things in my life. And that's the feeling of gratitude. So the wisdom here, Scorpio, is just to let go, let loose a little bit. And trust also is on you, because you've got to decide who's trustworthy and who isn't. And so if trust is an issue for you, let's face it, we can have major trust issues forced on us by people, you know, we had no choice in the matter when we were young. But as we grow and become adults and start to do our inner work, then we can look at, you know, relationships that we chose and that didn't turn out to deserve our trust. And we can look at those patterns of where we extended trust where it was not merited. And the question of how far do you extend trust before somebody proves themselves to you? You know, how much do you trust on blind faith? And how much do you trust because someone has shown me that they're trustworthy? All right? That's a decision we all have to make when we go into, particularly when we first, when we first come into relationship with someone, particularly emotional relationships. And we just kind of blow our boundaries wide open, and people come in on a physical level sometimes, and, you know, an emotional level, and it's all wide open when we don't really know much about them. My son and I were having a conversation about this today, that somebody was talking about love or falling out of love with someone, and I said, you know, love in a true love is a deep commitment that really develops and ripens over time. That first rush of in love isn't necessarily love. It's a chemistry thing, but real love is a bond. And it's a bond that is founded in trust. So being able to define for yourself and to feel good about your instincts as far as trusting goes, that says you trust yourself. So really, if we want to be an open and trusting person, the person we have to trust most of all is ourselves, because we've done our work to the point that I'm going to recognize when something's off, and the minute I do, I'm going to get a boundary up. I'm going to trust myself to recognize toxic situations, and also to recognize when I am safe and allow myself to open in those situations. And so be grateful for your intuition, Scorpio, and the ability to apply wisdom and really look at a situation and as far as trust goes. But trust, wisdom, and gratitude sounds like a good spell to me for a new moon. Okay. Sorry, cards are sliding. Okay, Sagittarius. Number 4. And that is Moonology. All right, Saggies. Here as well. Oh, 2 came out. 1 more. Okay. Looky, we got the new moon. Let me get this leafy out of the way here. So here we have, you are good enough. Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, and a new start is coming, new moon. So this is new moon in Virgo, you're good enough. New moon in Sag, look at the bigger picture, or full moon, and just new moon by itself, a new start is coming. So your new start, Sagittarius, is broadening your context. All right, hold on 1 second. So broadening your context. If you are in a very tight-knit community, creatively in your work life or something where you find yourself comparing yourself to other people, you need to make sure that you are not being unfair to yourself, because this is saying you're good enough. It just may be, it's like me saying, you know, with my limited keyboard ability, that, but you know, I'm not bad, I can play. Let's pretend I can play pretty well, you know, play well enough for a band. Yeah, I can play keyboards, but I'm hanging out with concert pianists, you know, I'm hanging out with Rick Wakeman, and man, I'm just not good enough. Who are you comparing yourself to? So here's your question, Sagittarius. Your question is, compared to what? Whenever you find yourself making a judgment about yourself, ask, compared to what? and see where that goes. So, you know, man, I'm not talented enough to, but compared to what? Compared to who? You know, I feel like shit. I feel completely worthless. Compared to what? You know, there are no absolute judgments. Everything is relative. Do you remember a month or so ago, I read this little story about it's a Chinese fable about somebody, you know, finding horses, which was a good thing, and the farmer would be like, you know, maybe yes, maybe no, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. And as the context changed, the judgment of good and bad changed back and forth. And that's exactly what life is. You know, I find myself frequently saying to people, I'll give you an example. I'm going to tell a story. Someone who, I'm trying to decide how much to reveal in this story. At any rate, no, I'll just go really generic with it. For instance, if you have an accident, someone I know had their knee blow out, and they called me freaking out about it because it's like, oh, now what am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to work. I'm not going to be able to this. I'm not going to be able to that. And I remember saying at the time, because this person was struggling with a lot of other things too, and like severe anxiety problems and chronic fatigue syndrome and Epstein-Barr and all kinds of stuff that they just really needed not to be working anymore and could not get out of those golden handcuffs. And the anxiety was crippling. And they blew their knee out and were like flipping out. And I said, there will be a time, first of all, calm down, get into the present moment, calm down right now. Yes, you're in pain. You're going to take care of this. Let go of everything else. What's going to happen to this? Let it all go, because you can't. The only thing you can deal with is pain in your knee right now and getting that taken care of. And then it was like, there's going to come a time when you're going to turn around and say, that's the best thing that could have happened to me. And by God, that's exactly what happened, because it got them into a track to finally get a lot of things diagnosed that finally did result in early retirement and disability, which was much, much needed. So there's going to come a time when that thing that you think is the most disastrous thing that could happen could turn into the best possible thing. It all depends on your context. And when talking about yourself and how you judge yourself, what value judgments you place on yourself, make sure that you're looking at a big enough picture. And just the new moon's message and reminder that a new start is on its way with the new moon every single month. When the sun comes up every single day, right? There's a new start available for us. Okay. Capricorn. Yay, Becca. Hi, honey. I'm glad you're swaying to those drums. That's exactly what they're there for. I do miss Mother Drum. Okay. Where are we at, Capricorn? 6. Okay, back to Queen of the Moon. So Queen of the Moon and Moonology are stepping forward today. Well, all right, they're making it easy for me. Power, protection, beginnings. I love it. I love that we had new moon here. We had gratitude, and this is new moon as well. Fascinating. Frickin' fascinating. Okay. Full moon, new moon, waxing crescent. This is power. This is beginnings. Protection in the middle. Okay. So protection being the keynote here, Capricorn. Knowing how to do that, you know, to get your energetic protection around you, and how to beef it up, and how to expand it when you need to, pull it in closer when you need to. And not just you and your visualization of the egg of light around you and all that stuff, hold on, my phone dinged and I lost my thought. Hang on a second. So not just drink of water time. I'm sorry I lost it. I was going to say not just the egg of light and that kind of stuff, but I mean, more practical protection as well. So making sure that things, you know, like your bank account and your access to it on your phone and all that kind of stuff is buttoned up tight. Make sure that you know what's going on as far as phishing scams, and that you never ever click on links from people you don't know. They're getting more and more clever all the frickin' time, you guys. So, you know, those kind of very practical protections. Yeah, I'm swaying to the drums too. So the, hold on. Oh my gosh. So that was my son. It's like something told me I need to look at this. My son just texted me, hey mom, a shit ton of coyotes were just yelling their heads off back in our woods. Coyote energy. No wonder I'm having such a hell of a time, huh? But anyway, Capricorn, protection, and I'm coming back to the trust issue as well, looking at how far you choose to extend yourself in one direction or another. But this is also talking about just ritual, you know, really. Oh, that's what it was. I got the thought back. Yay. So not just doing your little visualization, but working with your guides. Working with your guides, you guys. Everybody has them. Whether you've never seen a spirit in your life, you've never felt the vibe of, you know, somebody around you that you can't see. It doesn't matter if you've never experienced any of that stuff. They are there. You have them. They are your ancestors. They are your spiritual teachers that have never been in bodies. They are, some of them are guides that are like group guides. They have groups of people they work with. Some are, you know, ascended masters that, you know, are just there when you're in big need. And then there's the personal ones that have been there since you've drawn your first breath and even before that, and will be there to greet you when you go. So they are there. Work with them. Ask for their protection. Allies and ancestors, guides and guardians, go before me. I have oh God, I have to go to court today for something and I'm so nervous and everything. Go before me. Be with me. Imagine yourself with just this. I have a line from Robert Heinlein book, Stranger in a Strange Land, a flying wedge of Amazons around you that are just making a bow wave go in front of you and pushing everything that isn't in alignment with your highest good out of the way. So Capricorn, time to call in the big protection with your new moon ritual, and looking at, you know, from the full to the new, really acknowledging those poles, the lunar poles, and doing ritual around that, and spending those times to really beef up your relationship with your guides. And all it takes, thank you for being there. I know you're there. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you for whatever you do for me every single day. I really appreciate you. Hey, can somebody help me out here? Where's my perfect parking space? That's me. Where's my perfect parking space? And if I get myself in that zone, I know it'll be there. If I can't get in that zone, it's not going to be there. So it really is about that feeling of connection, and I can't describe it to you if you haven't. I know you've felt it. It's when you feel that connection, and it's that place of perfect trust. That's what it is, perfect trust. I don't have to worry at all because I know it's going to be there, and bang, there it is. So those terms, perfect love and perfect trust, they mean something. And having your spiritual protectors around you can put you in that place of perfect trust because you know they've got your back and you can relax. So we do have a little bit of a theme going on here. Aquarius. And coyotes come in and woof. That is trickster energy. Yippee! Okay, number 5. Deviant. Deviant moon for our Aquarians, of course. Our professional deviants. All right. offer. There's one. Okay. I will take the next two out of this group. They're telling me take the one on the bottom and take the one on the top. Okay. This deck keeps sliding. I'm afraid it's going to end up on the ground. Okay. So we have strength. And we have the 7 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. The strength to see something through here, Aquarius. It's rough because you want change, because you want change to happen, not necessarily quickly, but according to your agenda. As a fixed sign, you don't move quickly. You move powerfully. And this is saying that you have the strength to see something through. The 7 of Pentacles talks about patience and waiting until something comes to fruition. It talks about putting in sort of the invisible work every day, the work that you're not going to see the results. You water the plant every day. Do you see the fruit immediately? No. You have to trust that it's going to continue to grow. When you put a seed in the ground and you water it, you can't see what's happening down in there. And you've got to resist the urge to go dig it up every day to see if it's growing, right? You have to trust. Gosh, there's that theme again. Trust. So the Strength card says, look at that image. These cards are so wonderful. They are so stylized. I love the style of them. But the Strength card says, yes, you have the ability to master the situation. And unlike the regular Strength card image, which has a woman who has tamed the lion with her own inner peace, this is a dude who is opening, shoving his jaw into the coelacanth or whatever Loch Ness monster's mouth. Brute strength. So it does talk about being powerful and having the power, and the power that there is in patience. That's a powerful thing, to sit back and wait until you know, rather than pushing the river, jumping too soon. That old wonderful piece of advice, when you don't know what to do, don't do anything, is this. It talks about the patience to kind of wait it out. Wrestle with the beast inside, wrestle with that impatience, but wait it out. Things are going to come to fruition with the 10 of Pentacles on this side. So the question that you ask yourself, Aquarius, now is, how do I wait things out? How good at what do I do when I have to wait? What do I do when something is a long-term investment for me and there's no instant gratification? Do I try to force it into my time frame? Or do I have the ability to tend and nurture on a daily basis without forcing? And when you do that, when you have the ability to think over the long term, then things really come to fruition in a physical way. So this is just a reminder on this new moon, Aquarius, to commit yourself to that day-to-day tending of whatever long-term thing you're working on. And identify yourself for yourself. What is the day-to-day? What are the daily chores that I need to do on this? And just make them not optional, Tend on a daily basis. And that wonderful 10 of Pentacles says, no problem. Fruit will definitely be born. Okay. Pisces. Six, Queen of the Moon again. Boop. And there's number 2. Let's see if we can get a number 3 the same way. Now they're laughing at me. So we're going to pick it this way. Wow, Pisces, this is beautiful. We have blossoming, we have peace, and we have resilience. So for you, Pisces, something is certainly beginning to unfold. Something inside you is opening up. Whether this is your spiritual understanding, a deeper understanding of who you are as a person, what your talents are, what you're here to give, it's beginning to blossom. And this unfolding brings a profound sense of peace. And it's because you have bounced back time and again, time and again, time and again. So all of this bouncing back, fall down 6 times, get up 7 is what they say. Fall down 6, get up 7. So your resilience here is paying off. And one of the things that you see unfolding, if you can imagine this, is the trust you have in yourself. That when I fall down, I can get back up. Not just I can, but I do get back up. When I fall down, I do get back up. And with that trust in yourself, that you are going to survive the tough times that you go through, because you've survived everyone so far, right? That you will survive brings this profound sense of inner peace. This is a very Piscean looking card here. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Hey, Sherry, I'm so glad you made it, huh? Yay. Yes, protection and healing. So Pisces, this is a wonderful card for you. Let that inner trust blossom. This is a wonderful thing that you can do in ritual. You know, you don't necessarily have to do spell work for something like external, you know, to get something. Some of the most effective spell work is work that you do in order to integrate something into your life. So for you, Pisces, you can say, I have just had the realization that I am really strong and resilient. Look at what I've survived. Look at what I've bounced back from. And not just survived, but bounced back with more skills, with more gifts, with more wisdom, with more understanding and knowledge. And that resilience, you can do a spell to integrate that feeling of self-trust into your system. And just to sort of magnify and really kind of lock in your central nervous system this feeling of trust in yourself and just strong resilience. Okay? So that's what I would say, Pisces. Feel what's blossoming because of the trials that you've been through, because you continue to get back up. It's finally, you are seeing yourself in a deeper way, in a more multifaceted way. You are viewing yourself now as a stronger person for these things. You might not feel like you're out of it just yet, but it is time to recognize what you've been through and how resilient you are, and let that bring an enhanced sense of self-trust and an enhanced sense of inner peace. Lovely, Pisces. Lovely, lovely. All right, Aries. Three. Yay, Daughters of the Moon. Woohoo! I was wondering when they were going to step up. It would be nice if we used all the decks tonight. Okay, there's one. Guess who it is? Coyote. Okay. Oop. All right, we're gonna split them now. Hey, you guys, you having fun? I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. Okay, so these, I'm gonna look. Coyote came up like pretty much upside down, and the others came up like this. So we're gonna go that way. So Coyote Woman is the trickster. Aries, you got a lot of shit you're dealing with right now. And then we have Mott and Celebration. All right. So there's a lot of weighing of things going on, Aries. Mott is the weigher of hearts. And she's leaning back this way. So she's saying you need to be a little bit more discriminating in your judgment of things. You need to be able to see through some things and people maybe that aren't being sincere, or situations that really aren't what they seem. The trickster energy, let's turn them up. Let's turn them all up. We got enough to deal with here. Because celebration upside down, no, I'm not with that. This is new moon. So, okay, so Mott in the middle says you've got to weigh things out a little bit more before you decide if you can trust, because Coyote Woman says there's some trickster energy going on, whether it's people that are just, they have their own emotional agenda, or just telling you what you want to hear, or are straight up deceiving you. You need to be more discriminating. You need to open both your eyes when you're, when you're looking at the target, and you'll see it much better. But you need to be able to see where some things aren't really on the up and up for you this week. Okay? Ask that the veil be removed from your eyes. And then you have to believe it. Because so many times, and Aries is one of these, the fixed signs do this too, they can find out that somebody's, shining them or whatever, and they just kind of dig in and go, no, God damn it, I'm gonna win anyhow, and they will go do battle and just get, smacked down again and again, and then they're really pissed off. So we need to be discriminating, look with both eyes. And then we've got celebration card over here. Hold on. Okay, now I'm kind of looking at it in the whole as, sorry, I need a lot of water. I had to take some Sudafed. Is we can either focus on the trickster energy, how do I get what I want out of people, or, what people are doing to me and the negative side of that, or we could focus on the celebration card. Hold on a second here. I think this is, I can't remember if it's the World or if it's Wheel of Fortune. And I could be wrong about both of those. Okay, it's the Judgment card. So, Judgment talks about transformation and resurrection. And celebration is kind of a way of closure, It's, when we have big celebrations, because we're marking like a beginning phase, it's also an ending phase. So that kind of makes sense with Judgment. It also just says that you need to dance into being what it is that you really want. But Mott says you've got to be clear about it. What I'm going to say here about Coyote is just that there's some wrong-headedness going on. There's some ideas that don't quite track. There's some illusions happening. And we need to deal with those so that we can turn our face to the celebration that's going on, and to celebrating and bringing in the positive things that we want, rather than focusing on the negative, or just disabusing ourselves of some ideas that aren't quite in line with reality, and then looking at what we can really bring into being. Aries, it's weird. I've had a couple of weeks here of weird readings for Aries. It's like I don't feel like I'm in sync with them for some reason. Okay, yeah, Coyote was totally meant to be. All right. Where are we at? Taurus. One. Goody, we've used all but one. Okay, these are the Lunar Nomads. This is gonna be fascinating. Okay, whoa, lordy, they all went flying. Oh, Jesus. I'll be right back. Wait, hold up. My deviant moon is trying to take a hike, and half the lunar nomads went on the ground. Now, I will tell you that I have taken out the man and woman cards from this deck because they don't really have much to add. I'm not going to read them really like Lenormand's. Okay. Taurus. So we have Sun, Pathways, and Book. Okay. So with Lenormand, they're a different style of reading than Tarot. They kind of all affect each other and read like a sentence. So what I'm seeing here is shedding light on the pathway to some secrets, to some discoveries. The Sun is power, it's success. It, of course, talks about light and shedding light on things. Pathways says that there's a choice ahead of you. A pathway can also talk about a clear choice. Sometimes it can mean there is a choice of ways one way or another, but generally it means that you see the way. Since it's a path, I can see the path. I know what I have to do. So this is shedding light on the things that you know you have to do, and the book is about secrets. It's knowledge, but it's usually hidden knowledge. It's not verbal communication. It is, and it's not written communication either, it's knowledge. The letter would be written communication, the birds are verbal communication. So there's some knowledge here, and book can also talk about secret knowledge because the book can be closed, right? So I'm seeing this as shining a light on, okay. Looking at your past successes here can make it very clear what the way forward for you is. And I'm very aware of this North Node here, talking about the karmic path forward. And the book here just says that there's more for you to learn about your path forward by looking back. There's also more to learn just about your spiritual path, about the practice of your spiritual path. If you're a dabbler, I think it's time to go a little more strongly on a defined path, on a clear path. And even if you are drawn to several different spiritual traditions equally, and they're, that's totally valid, it could be time to focus in on one. For, I don't know, give yourself some time, give yourself several cycles of the moon, a year and a day, whatever time period you want to look at, and really give yourself to that discipline, give yourself to that pathway, invest in it and see where it takes you, because it can take you into some big realizations of things. It can take you into direct experiences of the fact that magic is real and it works, right? So the one that really lights your candle, the one that shines out for you, it's saying if you're drawn to that, focus in on that pathway. And this doesn't necessarily have to be about something spiritual. It can be about your creative pathway in life, your profession, and focusing in and learning more, taking it to the next level, getting privy to the secrets, kind of an initiation in, okay? I like that. I like this message. Ooh, these are fun. All right, Gemini. Ah. 6. Queen of the Moon. All right, Gemini. Ooh. Okay, Gemini, we have pleasure, growth, and resilience. So that wonderful resilience card again, but growth in the middle. So pleasure and growth, it's kind of here's the choice for you this week, Gemini. Pleasure, growth, pleasure, growth. Which way is it going to be? Because generally it's not the pleasurable things that really grow us. You know, it's the things that we have to wrestle with. It's the things that push us to our edges, you know, that push us close to the edge and make us have to learn and go beyond our defined limits, you know, our perceived limits. So let's look here. So resilience is also something for you, and I love that the resilience card has come over on this side with the person on the card looking back, because it's saying it is time to look back at your life. Look at the times where things were going great and they were fun and pleasurable, and the times when they weren't so great, and notice what you took out of each of those times. And, you know, we all have them. We all have those times where the wheel turns, right? We have the times where things are on the upswing, yay, and then things are on the downswing, and we have the peaks at the top and the lulls at the bottom, and, you know, looking forward and backward. We all do the whole spin of the wheel. So looking back over your cycles here, take a look at those times that really called you to be resilient, that called you to, you know, the kind that you were like fighting and stamping your little feet over. Look at those times and look at how they grew you. And then look at the times of pleasure as well. And, you know, what we have to grapple with as human beings is we always want the good times to stay and the bad times to go, you know? And the fact is the wheel turns and turns and turns, always. And cycles don't sync. Does anybody remember biorhythms? Do you remember those? Back in the 70s, it was a big deal. Get your biorhythm report. And it showed, I think it was physical and mental and emotional. There were like three rhythms that went at different frequencies. And you could see, you know, when all of them were on an upswing and all of them were on a down, or days when you were emotionally down but up on the other two. And it was the hot trend, along with mood rings, you know, mood rings and biorhythms to do a reading for yourself. See how we were before we had cards and shit. Anyway, it is really good to look back at your personal cycles, Gemini, your personal cycles of pleasure and success, and your cycles of growth, and how the topic of resilience comes forth in those. So for you too, it's about acknowledging your resilience and increasing your own trust in yourself, and looking back at your growth cycles versus your planting and growing cycles versus your reaping and harvesting cycles, because those can be the pleasure cycles when you're pulling in the results of the work that you've done, and you're harvesting and eating the delicious apples and whatever it is that you've grown, right? So look at your cycles, Gemini. It's both and. You might get an idea of some timing with that, but look back with the idea to acknowledge how resilient you are, and let that increase that sense of trust. Okay. Cancer. Oh, it was a leaner. 6. All right, Queen of the Moon again. Not surprising. In fact, when she came up in the number 6 position, it's like, oh, honey, you should be. And it's like, no, everybody chose where they wanted to be, so. All right, Cancer. the path in the middle. And we have abundance and balance. This is going to be a kind of a similar message to Gemini there. That, you know, this is the path. We have times of abundance, and then we have times when things come back into balance. So we have abundance, we have lack, and then we bring it into balance. Hold on a second. The abundance card is Hunter Moon, which is where we are. That's the full moon in Scorpio, sometimes called Wolf Moon. No, I think Wolf Moon is January or something, at any rate. So Hunter Moon is about abundance. You know, when you go out hunting and you reap the abundance from the animal world, and you go out and reaping the abundance from your garden. So letting abundance, the abundance in your life right now, take you on the path to balance. Looking at how do I get the most out of the abundance that I have now, not just like consume it and wallow in it and swim in it. That's great to a measured amount, but when you have a time of abundance, you do need to think about what's coming next on the path and what could come next, and make sure that things are balanced so that you are taking care of your future self as well as your current self. This means putting some money away. This means investing money. This means stocking up food, you know, for the winter, or if there are hard times, or just now that we've been through a pandemic, we've changed, haven't we? We've been resilient, but we've changed. Think about how you've changed in your thinking of your resources and the money that you have and how it flows and what you use it for. Because you're on a path learning here of what to do with that abundance, how to care for it, how to nurture it so that it can take care of you for the longest amount of time. And that means being in balance with what you spend, what you save, what you use, what you put by. Okay? Let's see. It seems like a pretty simple message, but it is what it is, you know? I just think that there's a good harvest for you this year, and not just in goods, but in growth, in knowledge, in information, in spiritual lessons. So it's also going back to those lessons and the big things we've been through, and realizing that those are your path. Those lessons are part of your path and will bring you into greater balance as a human being. So there's the esoteric side of it. Okay. Biorhythms. Oh yeah. Okay. Crab time. Leo mio. Let's see, Leo. Two. We have used all the decks now. Yay! I'm so happy. Yeah, your peeps are probably whispering to my peeps, that's for sure. And you know what? That's another thing with your guides. You can send them. You can ask, you know, would you please go help this person? I have loaned my guide Ingrid. She's my guardian in the north that takes care of material things and helps me find stuff. And if somebody's looking for something, it's like, you can borrow Ingrid, just ask her to help you out, and then stop looking for it, and, you know, or ask Ingrid to help your guide, you know, that kind of stuff. All right. The moon. So we have the Chariot and the Moon on either side and the Three of Swords on the inside. Oh boy. Okay. So there's some deep heartache here, Leo, that is really affecting you from an unconscious, a subconscious place. There's a deep sorrow here that needs to come into consciousness, or at least needs to start moving through your emotional body. The Moon, of course, talks about things that are hidden. The Chariot says it's time to get busy on it. So, Samhain time of year, this is grief work, folks. This is certainly grief work. Looking at your heartaches, looking at your trauma. What has bubbled to the surface for you over this pandemic, or even just over the last month, you know, since the Libra new moon? What is it that's just kind of a grinding dissatisfaction? What is it you're avoiding? What is it you're avoiding looking at or thinking about here? Because there's heartache here, but the Moon says I want to hide it. Either I want to hide it, or I just am not seeing it for what it is yet. I'm not seeing it clearly. Okay. The Chariot certainly talks about conscious choice. Chariot operates in the conscious realm. It talks about being the driver of your vehicle, being in the driver's seat, right? And taking yourself where you need to go. So we can be in the driver's seat, and we can go into these things that are hurtful and painful. We can go into this grief process. Oh shit, I know what this is about. Okay. And bring it into the light of day. And it actually, when we take care of this, it cleans out something at the subconscious, the unconscious level. All right, and that clears things up on a conscious level, because you guys know what runs the show, right? It's not your conscious mind, by a long shot. By a long shot. It's what's in your unconscious. It's those patterns, it's old traumas, it's even past life wounds and traumas. However, I do believe that you are presented with everything in this lifetime that you need to know in order to move forward spiritually. Past life stuff is validating. It's validating, and it can give you etiology is the word I'm coming up with. It can give you the beginning, the source of a trauma that is repeating, you know, the deep spiritual source. But you know, you can just look to this lifetime and what's gone on in this lifetime to be led to the lesson. But here it says the grief process, the feeling of the pain, is what helps you to heal that deep, deep place in you, that deep unconscious wound that's there. Okay? But the Chariot says, any day now. You ready to cry about this yet? It's time. All right. All right, Virgo. All right, Marcy. Wow. Yeah, they're on tonight. I love just, you know, having an array of decks and letting them choose their number. I mean, randomizing as much as possible. And I also, you know, one of the things I can do is go to like a random number generator and let it generate numbers for picking decks if I don't have a particular theme for a night. So we can get really random with it. All right, Virgo. 2. Back to Moon Garden. Those cards enjoyed themselves so much. Virgo enjoyed watching Leo so much, she said, hey, I want that deck too. Oop. All right. There's one. All right. We have 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, and 4 of Cups. Ooh. Okay, Virgo. You've worked really hard on something. You have sharpened your skills. You have put in the time. And you've been successful enough, like, for yourself, but it's not making you happy. There's something here. There's some kind of dissatisfaction still going on here. And I think that it's time for you, whatever this is that you've been working on, it's time to bring it out of you. This says it's being kind of kept safe, because Nine of Pentacles is about solitary abundance, about enjoying your gifts like on a, by yourself, for yourself. But Four of Cups here says that's not satisfactory. It's not satisfying me. I'm disappointed in this. So I'm thinking that it's time that you take it a little bit further. I'm going to ask for one more on this. Please, please, oh please. For Virgo, one more. Tell us where we go. All right, it was being ambiguous about which one wanted to come out. The Page of Cups. I think you just need to deal with yourself on an emotional level here. All right, unambiguous, please. Oh, check it out. How did that come up reversed? There's a whole chunk here that's reversed. The Ace of Staffs. All right, it's time to get going, Virgo. We have something that's creative, and you've invested in it emotionally, and you've invested the time and that it takes to, grow the skills, to get better at it, to learn something, to become proficient. And we're not getting started. What's the project? What's the point? Why are you doing it? It's time to turn this ace upside down and get moving. Start it tomorrow. Name the project. Even if it's one little project, if it's launching an entire new business, whatever it is, from this big to this big, it's time to kick it off and get it started. The Ace of Staffs says time to wield the power. Okay? So, yeah, the reason it's not satisfactory is because you're not really using it yet. And you're not really putting it out there in the form that it deserves. In the form that it deserves. So whatever you've been working really hard at, it's time to start a new level. It's time to level up or start the ground level wherever you're at with it. It could be a brand new beginning. It could just be time to level up on that. All right? Stop wallowing in the dissatisfaction. Don't let that be the place you get lost. Deal with the feelings. Look at what they're telling you. Learn the lesson from them. The Page of Cups looks in that cup. What are these feelings telling me? They inform me, right? But they don't run the show. The Ace of Wands runs the show and says it is time to pick up the wand and get moving. Now, a wand can be a pencil, a paintbrush, any of the tools of creativity, but it's time to get a moving, Virgo. All right. And now we're on our last one, Libra. Hey, little Libras, how are you? One. The Lunar Nomad. I'm glad we got to use this one again because it's very interesting. All right, Libra. Okay, it cracked in two places, so I'm going to take them both. All right. Okay, so letter, book, and seer. So written communication, the letter can be written communication, it can be contracts, anything that is communicating not in verbal form. All right, So it can literally be a letter that you've written to someone. Like I said, it can be contracts. It can be anything that you, like a brochure or an advertisement or a description, stuff like that. Letter book seer. Okay. You know what this is, Libra? I want you, Libra, to take a stab at some automatic writing. Because seer here says that there's some information trying to come through to you. And if you write down your thoughts, they can really reveal some secrets to you. They can reveal some psychic truths. They can reveal some information that you didn't know was in there, because it's not in here, it's in the collective well. And you can bring it out of that collective well by creating space for it. So, getting out your journal, having your ritual, getting yourself in a great trance state, just woof, okay, these drums. So I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was last Samhain that I put up a video which has this whole recording of Mother Drum on it, the drums that you're listening here, the CD that I made a while back. And so you can please go do that. You can use these 2, the 3-beat and 4-beat heartbeat drums. You can use these for your ritual, and you can use them to achieve trance state and just kind of carry you along. So once you get in that trance state, which means that you are now operating from the subconscious rather than the conscious mind, you take your journal, you take your pen, and you say, speak through me. You can just do if you're really deep in trance, you can just kind of scribble and don't pay attention to whether your hand is writing or not. Look at it afterwards. Do you find words? Do you find pictures? What do you find? You can also just do a little more on the conscious side, a little less deep trance, where you just write poetry. I'm just going to write, and whatever flows through my mind. So you have to put yourself in a listening place. What's talking in my head? What random odd phrases are coming up in my head? Write them down. Write them down and then look at them afterwards, because you can get some real information from that. Yeah, interesting. The 3 messages for you, Marcy, have been very interesting tonight. Very different. All the messages, while we had a theme there of a lot of trust, talking about trust, we really did get some diverse messages, and I think that's the wonderful part about using a whole bunch of different decks. So, book here says there are secrets waiting to be revealed. And if you open up to that and you give yourself, put the tools in your hands, start writing, the book opens and some big things are revealed to you. And one of the things that can be revealed to you is just the strength and magnitude of your own psychic powers and your own intuition. That's what you can really gain from this. So, here, hold on one second. I think I'm gonna go find this Mother Drum thing and drop a link for you. Hold on. Let's go to my channel. And let's search. Not Mopther. Mopther drum. Okay, Mother Drum, my gift to you. There it is. All right, here's a link. This is the Mother Drum full CD. There is a full grounding, big grounding in the beginning of it, and then there's the, I'll put it down in the comments too. I can't because we're live. Never mind. I'll put it in the description when I put the timestamps in. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad you love to write, Marcy. This can be a new experiment in writing without control, without the control of your conscious mind. I've talked about this before. There's a book called The Artist's Way, and it's just written by an artist who found ways to get past her own creative blocks. And one of the biggest tools she uses is a thing called morning pages. And what you do is you get up in the morning and you do 3 pages, 3 notebook pages, longhand, and it's just stream of consciousness. Whatever's in there, just write whatever chatter is going on in your head, 3 full pages without stopping, and then you close the book. And for the first, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 weeks, you're not supposed to go back and read them at all. It's just a dump. You dump that crap out of your mind, clears it out of your unconscious, and then you can start the day more clear-headed. But what happens after a time is your brain gets used to, oh, here's our dump time. You know, here's our time when I get to say anything I want to say, and it's going to start putting some very interesting things out. You can end up with poetry, you can end up with brilliant ideas, you can end up with psychic information, just all kinds of great stuff. But the whole point of it is to just drain all the crap out of your head first thing in the morning so that you can face your day with a clearer head. So that would be a great thing to do. And I think that's really what that's describing there. So, you are welcome, Laura. And everybody else, I think, what are we at, an hour and a half? I don't think I'm going to do a group reading tonight. Well, maybe I will. Okay, yes, I will. Group reading for us. What do I want to do? Let's let the collective decide. A reading for the collective tonight. Deck number 5, Deviant Moon. I was looking at that and thinking, yeah, but then no. Okay. A reading for the collective. I'm going to take cards. Well, I guess not. I was going to say, I'm going to take cards off the top here, but no. And then we have quartz and quartz. Queen of Wands, the joy of creation. You know, look at that as the fire of water, that she's, you know, the joy that comes from putting your creative gifts out there, from using the gifts that you've been given. I'm making myself a little bit more room here. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. And I love that we have someone on wheels here, rather than a chariot, rather than a horse, because that does bring some diversity into this deck, actually. But the Knight of Pentacles is the knight that doesn't go anywhere, and he's looking back at the Queen of Wands. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so he's looking back here going, yeah, we're getting all excited about creating, but which way do we go? Things stalling. There's a lot of change that we want to bring in. We want to you know, be creative and bring in all these wonderful progressive changes, but Nine of Pentacles is going, but how? How are we doing this? Then we kind of run into blockages and bog down with the details of things and the haggling of things. And God, is this talking about our government crap? You know, we know what needs to be done. I think the Democrats here in the U.S. have gotten a huge wake-up call that they better get their shit together and take advantage of the fact that they do control both houses and bust some fucking moves here, or their agenda is going to be gone in the midterms. So I think we're confronting the roadblocks. And over here, the Ten of Cups, well, this is talking about you can't please everybody. You can please all of the people some of the time and some of the people all of the time. And the original of that is you can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time, but you can't fool mom. There was a guy when I was a kid called Captain Penny. And, you know, kids show. And that's how he ended every show, is you can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time, but you can't fool mom. She's mighty something and she's mighty smart. I have to find out what that was. Oh my God. So this is talking about pleasing everybody. You can't fucking please everybody. And they have to move the agenda forward regardless of what's going to be said about them. Some of them need to be willing to take a political bullet in order to advance the agenda and take advantage of the numbers right now, that the Democrats are in charge right now. Then we have the two, look at all the cups and pentacles, man. The Two of Cups, we need to partner. And the Six of Pentacles, hold up. Wow. Okay, so the partnership here, those that are able to, without Mansion and Cinema, because they are the roadblocks here. The rest of the Democrats need to get over their badass selves and compromise with each other in order to get the greater agenda through. And that has to do with how many people can we help, what things can we institute, because what's going to cause a difference at the midterms is people having an experience of what this, you know, certain kinds of help can feel like, of the economy springing back because of the public works things, charity, pouring money into things, and people will see the results of that, and that swings things around. But all the politicking is getting us nowhere. And then we have the Six of Wands, victory. Hey, hey, hey. Alrighty, so the collective is saying we've got to learn to fucking work together. We've got to have our sights pointed in the direction of helping as many people as we can. The Afghan war is over, and the military budget still far outstrips any other budget, any other area of government spending. What does that tell you? We've got to stop investing in war. The women need to stand up. These fucking old men. Here's this is Mitch McConnell, you guys. Night that doesn't go anywhere. These guys that say their job is to be a public servant, and they just fucking sit there, being a roadblock to the Queen of Wands, who says it's time to bring in some feminist values and start caring for people on a mass level for the greater good. This way lies happiness, but you got to get through this asshole first. And then we've got to start working together. The Democrats have got to find ways to do things. They need to kill the filibuster. They need to expand the Supreme Court. They need to bust some goddamn historic moves to respond to this historic time. And the Six of Wands says when we do that, when we look at charity and how many people we can help and how can we work together in any way possible, that there's victory that way. Okay. Yes, I love the Deviant Moon deck, and I haven't used it. Well, one of the main reasons is I came to a realization in the last week or so when I realized that I really am kind of retired from doing personal readings for people. I really enjoy what I do here, but I just have this feeling like I just all of a sudden retired. And I'm kind of liking it, you know? I'm kind of liking it. Anyway, I hope you got something from that. If you did, there are links down below that you can show your appreciation to me. Buy me a cup of coffee, send me a couple dollars, join my Patreon for $3 a month, buy me a deck, so many ways. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. And thank you to my patrons, my consistent donors. I thank you so very much for showing that appreciation. You don't know how much it means to me. It means way, way more than whatever money you send. So anyhow, thanks so much. I will get up the timestamps possibly tonight, possibly tomorrow. I have to wait for the video to process, so it's easiest to do it because it's just painful if I don't. So anyway, that was Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I know. I just happened to look at it and look at his white pasty face there, and it's like frickin' Mitch McConnell. You know, he just is a damn roadblock. Anyway, thank you for being here and hanging out with me. I will see you next time. Namaste. Blessed be. Blessings to all of you until I see you next time. Blessed be, everybody.